So who brought the who brought the pedophile?
First of all,
hold on.
Have to wear masks.
No, thank you. Who brought the pedophile?
It's not.
We want to know.
The Washington Post has a story today. It says Arizona GOP candidate who criticized drag queens was once a fan, according to a drag queen.
I'm really shocked. I'm actually appalled that Fox News would take a defamatory story like that, and we are pursuing legal action against this drag queen. I'm appalled that you would bring that up.
Why did you? No. We want to know why there's a pedophile here.
We saw videos of what that thing does.
Yeah. Why did you? Hey,
It's got videos.
So you allow pedophiles in here?
Do to little children.
Did you guys call the cops?
It's sexual.
Thank you.
It's sexual.
We are all entitled.
You guys need to find this video. You can call me. My number is and I'll help you find it online. And somebody's got to do something about this. Thank you.
Two little girls I support and I love. And I will never allow you to take them. Nope, will not happen.
Get out of here, you pedophile! Get out of here! You're not safe here. Get out of here.
This is a small sampling of the litany of hate that's been directed and also generated by conservative pundits, politicians, talkers, voters, supporters, Proud Boys, all these folks who think they're just badasses, but they're obsessed with, specifically in this case, drag shows, LGBTQ community, and apparently at the end of that video, as you saw, you're not safe here. Well, over the weekend, those words, that rhetoric, those threats all came to fruition out in Colorado Springs, Colorado. Let's go to some details of this devastating attack. A rifle-toting gunman opened fire during a drag show at a gay nightclub in Colorado Springs, killing 5 and injuring 25 before he was tackled by heroic patrons. This story continues to develop, by the way, so I hope whatever I may be missing is still happening. Authorities have said the suspect, Anderson Lee Aldrich, who's 22, was in custody. Although police did not provide a motive for the nation's latest mass shooting, Club Q called it a hate attack in a statement. Colorado Springs Police Chief Adrian Vasquez said police found 2 rifles at the scene, including a long rifle used in the attack. Some details about the trauma, and let's keep it real, the terrorism that was committed over the weekend. Joshua Thurman, who's 34 years old, was on the dance floor when he heard the gunshots and ran to a dressing room with a customer, locked the door and called police. We heard everything, more shots, people crying, glass breaking, windows being shattered. It was bad. When the shooting stopped, he emerged to a nightmare. Bodies lying on the ground, shattered glass everywhere, and blood. Let's look at this tweet from one performer. Del Lugino said, "I never thought this would happen to me and my bar. I don't know what to do with myself. I can't stop hearing the shots." More. Walking through the bar that I call my home and seeing it like that, I hate this so much. I hate this so effing much. Thurman, the club goer who survived that we just talked about a second ago, said one of his friends was killed though. And he said this, as a black kid, it's taboo to be gay. So coming here, this is one of the first places that I felt accepted to be who I am. This is our home, this is our space. We come here to enjoy ourselves, and this happens. So we've got devastation, we've got murder, we've got terrorism, we've got trauma, and we've got things people are never gonna unsee in their lives. And we've got family members of these folks who will never see their family members ever again. But we've got people who have been pushing this hatred on and on and on again. But when this happens, they'll go back to their Lord and Savior, Donald Trump, who said this so fittingly for everyone that believes the things that they believe. Watch.
And I'm a victim, I will tell you. I'm a victim, think of it.
He's the victim, but this is the scene, people trying to, I guess, come to some sort of closure for the latest in these hateful attacks. This is who the real victims of this situation are. Government officials and folks talked about this. Let's jump down to graphic 8 to go through these, you guys. Because President Joe Biden, he said this in a statement. The public health epidemic of gun violence could no longer be tolerated, particularly when threats against LGBTQ communities are increasing, is what Joe Biden said in this statement. While no motive in this attack is yet clear, we know that the LGBTQI+ community has been subjected to horrific hate violence in recent years. Gun violence continues to have a devastating and particular impact on LGBTQI+ communities across our nation, and threats of violence are increasing, is what he said. Today, yet another community in America has been torn apart by gun violence. More families left with an empty chair at the table and a hole in their lives that can't be filled. When will we decide we've had enough? Here's an interesting part. Representative Doug Lamborn, he's a Republican and he's a representative for that area. He decried the senseless loss of life in a statement to the Daily Beast and urged prayers to the victims. Lamborn has repeatedly lambasted measures to restrict gun access, and in a 2019 Daily Signal column, listen to this, urged for the defunding of PBS over an Arthur episode that featured a gay wedding. He wrote extensively about how much he hated this situation. PBS should be defunded. We remember that whole thing. Defund Sesame Street, defund Big Bird. This particular case over that. But now that folks have been shot up more based off of who they are and where they were and what they were celebrating and the event that they put on, he's got statements about a senseless loss of life, and he's got prayers for the victims. Jessica, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, it's so weird to me how in those videos, these guys always say, there was a pedophile in here, there's a pedophile in here, equating someone in drag to a pedophile. Those two things are not the same. Someone in drag is someone who is dressing up, putting makeup on, putting a dress on, putting cool outfits on. They're expressing themselves. This drag event has nothing to do with someone being involved with a child. It's so weird to me how they keep drawing this connection that's just not there, and then ignoring the actual pedophiles in their community, even those in leadership positions. And they're making such a big deal about the trans community as if they have to see transgender people every day. Oftentimes, people don't see transgender people every day because they make up 0.6% of the adult population in the United States. That is such a small fraction of the total population, and most of these people don't live in the kind of communities where people feel safe being out if they're queer. That's why there are spaces like gay bars. So they're making it seem like their freedom's being infringed upon because they have to see another way of life, when in fact they're infringing upon other people's right to live their life however they want to.
This piece of garbage murderer and terrorist who was motivated by the Republican Party and conservative pundits everywhere, he had to go to the gay bar. He had to go into the gay bar. He had to go find the gay bar. He had to know about what was going on. You know who didn't know there was a drag event that weekend at that particular gay bar? I didn't, because I'm not paying attention to it, because I'm not obsessed with making sure I go and terrorize people over who they are and what they're doing. But this guy felt the need to go find it. But his freedoms are being infringed upon. His way of life is being talked about. They're putting it in my face until you run up in their face. Who's putting it in your face? There's more about this piece of garbage. The thing is we're talking about, Joe Biden brought it up. We're talking about gun violence, which is still part of the problem. We're gonna get to his background and that gun violence part about this. But as everyone's talking about gun violence, it's really easy to kind of gloss over the fact that this targeted shooting, when this guy obtained these guns and did this, was targeting certain people. In this case, there's other cases where they're targeting only black folks or Latinos or Muslims. These types of things happen, and then every time it happens, yeah, we'll bring up the guns, but are we gonna start bringing up our society and how we accept people to do this type of stuff? Except that politicians will say, go kill those people because they're anti-God. They're against our belief systems. They're not really humans, so you can go ahead and kill them like bugs. That's what these folks believe, because they've been told to believe that. And until the folks that are continue to incite this kind of violence and build up these terrorist groups, these terrorist cells, until they're held responsible for it, they're gonna keep doing it. And we're gonna go to the next stage of this, and we're gonna keep saying things like this.